Hey team, how you doing? Well, we are off moto camping, and I've just heard from Matt that our first night is at the Pokaka Mill campsite, which is near National Park. If you look at a map, the best thing about the navigation for this weekend though is I'm using the Beeline, which is the funky little it's like a hockey puck on the handlebars of my bike, giving me turn-by-turn navigation. And what I've just worked out is if I go to plan ride in the app and then go where to, Pokaka Mill campsite is right there, and it will plan the route for me. Either I can go up State Highway 1 through Wairuru and then hang a left, or I can go up to Wanganui and up State Highway 4 through Ratahi to National Park and hang a right. And there it is, right there. Now I was a little bit worried about this first bit. Which turn do I take and how do I get there? Because it's not on the main road, it's off State Highway 47. But the Beeline navigation app has it all. So that's bloody handy, isn't it? Alright, here we are on the road. The bike is all loaded up, T7, looking great. Got the Ventura rack holding the tents and sleeping bag and chair and everything. Got the Krieger luggage all loaded up. US 20 under there, OS 12s on the side. Let's do this.
The first obstacle was navigating traffic heading out of Wellington. As the Transmission Gully project has massively overshot its completion date and is still not open, we are stuck with major traffic jams morning and evening rush hour. Up and over Pukerua Bay Hill, and I'm greeted with a beautiful view of the Kapiti Coast and Kapiti Island. Onto the Kapiti Expressway, we have the ability to travel at 100 km per hour for the first time since leaving home some 50 kilometres ago. Until we slow down again for more roadworks at Otaki, but once this road is finished it'll be great. Wellington to Levin all the way with dual carriageways at 100 km per hour speeds. However, at the moment, it's slow and painful. We've had some serious storms come through the country in recent times, and the roads around the country are pretty messy. Check out the slips that have come down through here. Sun's starting to get low in the sky, and we're coming up to Taihape. Leaving Taihape now and heading for Wairuru, I was treated to a beautiful sunset and yet more roadworks. Finally arriving in Wairuru, it was time for a splash of fuel and then off in the last of the light to find our campsite.
Well, here I am in pitch blackness. Somewhere is the mountains. I'm in the Google Map says Tongariro. The Tenere 700 is doing a fantastic job. I got to Wairuru and I had the choice of going Desert Road or Desert Road, Rangipo, Tongariro to the camp, or going Awakuni National Park to the camp. Pitch blackness in with a tinted visor may not have been a good idea. I was doing not many kilometers per hour and letting vehicles pass me to try and use their headlights to see where the road was going. Of course, visor up, couldn't see anything for the wind. Visor down, couldn't see anything because it was tinted. I've got 20 k's to go. I'm on the side of a road at an intersection. This is definitely an adventure. Let's carry on.
I must have entered a bit of a time warp of sorts. As I left Wairua around 8:15 PM, I rode through the desert road in the pitch black with a tinted visor, not advisable, and when I arrived at Tongariro, it was around 9:30 PM. It was only about a 50-kilometre trip. I found the road to the campsite, and of course it was around 15 kilometres of gravel. It was pitch black, and I was convinced this was how I was going to die. However, the road itself was pretty well maintained, and with my headlight I could quite clearly see the potholes, or at least the shadows of them. The road seemed to go on forever into the inky blackness, and crawling along at 30 kilometers per hour was very painful. But in the dark, with literally no idea where I was heading, I didn't want to risk going too much faster. Finally rolling into Camp Pokaka Mill around 10 PM.
Tenere shows up at 10 o'clock.
Happy fucking birthday, asshat. You didn't tell me it was that fucking far off the road.
Well, I sent you all the details. I sent you the link.
I mean, happy birthday, you nice gentleman.
Fucking
Oh,
Well, good morning from National Park somewhere near camp. Rolled into camp down this gravel road for about 15 odd kilometres last night in the pitch blackness. I tell you what, I wouldn't call this trail riding, but I'm going to call it trail riding for the purposes of this explanation. Trail riding in the pitch blackness is definitely an experience. Here's me thinking, this is the way I was going to die last night. Matthew Day Gillett on throttle.co.nz, he basically gave me a pin on a map and said, that's where we're camping tonight. So that's where I went, found the boys, had a beer or two, cooked up some food and slept. Wow, kind of slept, got a couple of hours. Set the tent up in the pitch blackness and of course didn't realise that the wee ventilation flap was open. Had a wee shower about 1 o'clock in the morning and the water was coming straight down through the hole onto my face. You live and learn, don't you? So we made it. We're at Pokaka Mill campsite in the National Park somewhere. It's a beautiful morning and no one else is up. So I've got up, I've had a coffee, and I'm ready to take on the day's adventures. So come with us. Woohoo!
Hello, Raymond.
Well, here we are. It's backwards on my screen, but hopefully it's the right way on yours. The Tongariro Forest and Conservation Area. And this is the road I rode in on last night in the pitch blackness. Man, it was a crazy ride. But this is the main road from Tongariro that way through to National Park that way. Some of the other guys just got to get some gas, so I thought I would stop here. Cell phone reception here, so check my phone and give you a quick update. We'll be back into riding in a moment.
We kicked off the day with a blast up the camp access road, out onto the state highway and a short jaunt down to the 42 Traverse access road. Warmed up, we blasted down to the main car park and the playground. After a bit of a play around, we set off on the 42 Traverse main track. Matt leading on the mighty Honda CRF 250 Rally, me on the Yamaha Tenere 700, Tal on the white Suzuki DR650, Dave on the black Suzuki DR650, and Doug bringing up the rear on the biggest bike, the Honda Africa Twin. With all 5 of us running the Cardo Pack Talk Bold units, communication was seamless and easy, meaning we could yarn, work on navigation, and make plans as we rode. Soon we came up on a rather picturesque lookout just off the main track.
What a spot, what a spot. Matt's doing some moto vlogging, so I thought I would too. There he is up there, look. We're on the 42nd Traverse. It's a whole lot of fun. We've had a couple of wee minor whoopsies, but check this view out. A cliff, Mount Ruapehu, Mount Tongariro, and we're having a blast. We've been here before, but this is a good little lookout. You can see the mountains, the volcanoes, but what you don't get on camera is the massive drop that's right there. It's even deceiving in person. Doug, do you want to go down and find out how far down it is?
This would be ideal if you were like a combined motorcyclist and like hang rider. Yeah. And you didn't mind crash training.
Aren't they, Ray? The four-wheel drives are a bit tricky to pass.
They can be, Matt. This is a crossover.
Yeah.
MotoNZ.com and onthrottle.co.nz.
Yeah.
Oh, here's our mate with the Jeep. Hey!
Go the Grand Chiro.
It was cool to see our old mates from with the little red Suzuki.
Yeah, the little red
camp.
Suzuki. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm a big fan of that. I'm not such a big fan of Hypercar.
That is a long way down.
Yeah. But what a place.
Of course, we're going to be doing the full podcast, so check out on every platform, Kiwi Rider Podcast.
As beautiful as this was, we were keen to get back on the road and see what else the 42 Traverse had to offer. We'd only covered about 9 kilometres and still had 25 to 30 to go. Though not long after getting back on the trail, we caught up with our four-wheel drive mates and a rather tricky looking obstacle.
You too. They'll be like...
Initially, some of the guys were thinking of taking the left-hand track, but this would mean that they'd be susceptible to a rather large fall if they were to cock it up. We decided that as long as the big bog hole at the bottom wasn't too deep or sticky, that the right-hand rut would be the best way to go. Matt went first, having the lightest and smallest bike. I followed, then the lads on the 650s, and finally Doug made his way down on the big Africa Twin.
What are you worried about? Piece of piss. Oh
he's going to do it standing up. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. You right, Doug, or do you want a hand? ABS off. It doesn't want to.
Getting to the bottom, we realised that it was possibly easier than we'd first thought. Waved thank you to the four-wheel drive guys for letting us through and carried on.
Thank you, team.
Back under motion once again, our little convoy made good time, setting an average speed of around 50 kilometers per hour. I was getting nervous, however, as I knew what was coming.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
Oh, I'm a bit white.
You're a bit white? There you go.
There you go. Nice.
Oh, Matt, this is it.
Yeah.
That is the hill that you struggled, but you got up it. I just couldn't get up.
I didn't get up it all the way. I got about 3/4 of the way, and then my front wheel came up, and I just let go and pushed it away. It's looking a lot better than last time we were here, that's for sure.
It is looking pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Momentum. It's not wet this time, which is amazing considering what we've just been through. Bit of a run up, and I think we'll be able to nail it pretty straightforward this time.
Right, put the cameras on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Other side, I'm going to go the right.
On your back with your legs up.
Okay, good luck everybody.
Back on the trail, we knew there was possibly only one more big obstacle to worry about, the only thing between us and completing the 42 Traverse, and this was the river crossing. Given the weather recently and the huge amount of rain, no one knew actually how deep it was going to be. As it turns out, there was nothing to worry about. All 5 of us rolled through the largest river crossing with ease, and it was plain sailing from there through to the end. Having just completed 40-odd kilometres of the 42 Traverse, we stopped for a breather and a chat.
And there we have it, the 42nd Traverse is done. $4 here, one over the bridge up there.
But the day was not done. Heading out onto the main road and hooking a right, we headed for another well-known adventure riding trail in the area called Fisher's Track. Fisher's Track starts on a gravel road but soon devolves into a single track along a grassy ledge winding its way up a hill. Challenging, as on your right you have a rock wall and on your left a fairly long drop to the valley floor below. Reaching the top of Fisher's Track trouble-free, we took it gently down the gravel road on the other side to National Park, and with that, our day's adventure was done. We had completed around 60 kilometres of trails, tackled obstacles, mud holes, and skirted near fatal drops. 5 guys on a mixture of motorcycles getting out there and doing it. And with that, we headed back to camp for a beer and a yarn.
Well, there we have it. It's the morning after. It's mildly moist. And we're all packing up, ready to go home. And while he's busy, because as I customarily do, I'm going to annoy Matt.
Why do you always come and annoy me while I've got this thing in my hand, a tool?
Because you've always got a tool in your hand.
It is mildly moist, but it wasn't atrocious last night, I wouldn't say. Like, it was dry up until about 5 a.m. So my boots only got wet this morning, not last night, because I left them outside.
So because we're probably not going to get a podcast out of this because the audio crapped itself, let's talk about what we did yesterday. On the road by like what, 10? A very leisurely, gentlemanly start.
Oh yeah, definitely about, yeah, maybe even been later. And then just down the road and up Carpaw's Road to the 42 Traverse, where even more leisurely we just messed around.
Quite a bit of fun playing around in that kind of playground thing at the start, right?
Shit, yeah. What heaps of fun. And yeah, Rosie got some decent air. A little indicator hair tie or whatever it is on the front fork says I managed to fully compress the suspension.
Oh, I reckon I bashed the bash plate on the ground landing one of those jumps.
I don't hit the underside on the jumps, but on the 42 Traverse a couple of times I had a couple of real big whacks down to my bottom plastics, and I was like going, that's going to be interesting to look at when I get home. But yeah, another day, another dollar. Everything went hunky-dory.
End of the day, a successful 40-second traverse, and then we ended up doing Fisher's Track.
Yeah, I was like, not gonna lie, I was kind of here and there on doing Fisher's, and yeah, glad we did it, but fuck, I was tired.
I almost didn't do it, but I ended up catching up with you boys when you were trying to work out where it was, so I ended up doing it. It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was definitely worse last time we did it. It was quite dry, a couple of, probably 3 tiny wee slippery rutty bits, and otherwise it was just a cruise through the farm countryside.
Yeah, the rutty bits, the nasty bits were sort of at the start, like was it not National Park and
the other end?
The other end, yeah. Can't remember the name of the town. But yeah, there was some real nasty ruts at the beginning, like just narrow ones, and I got stuck in one and then got crossed up and sort of ended up halfway up a bank with a bike, sort of going, oh. And sort of Carl and Dave behind me laughing, going, yeah, we're not going to follow that line. Yeah, ruts mess me up something chronic. I can't do like motocross style ruts or anything like that. They just, yeah. It's the one thing I can't switch off my brain for. Otherwise,
The cloud might be clearing slightly in that direction, probably not so much in that direction.
Yeah, so the wind, it's coming from that direction. So, be interesting.
I've already packed up, so I'm gonna settle up very shortly and head south, maybe via Owakuni for some breakfast. What are your plans?
Head home via hot food of some description. I was going to go up to Tukino ski field, but the weather as it is, it's sort of half the reason you go up there is for the view, and there ain't going to be much of a view. So,
Yeah.
Rather than sort of do that on an empty stomach, I'm going to go home probably via Turangi and then Taupo, and get something to eat somewhere along the line there, and then head home and try and dry off all my stuff. Though I was thrilled with my little swag. Like, I didn't get wet at all last night. And,
My 15-year-old tent did amazingly well too. No drips on my face this time around, but yeah, it's rather damp. I'm gonna have to string it up in the garage or something.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do something. Set up my swag underneath the carport or something to let it dry out. But I was dry, there was moisture inside, but that was all condensation from my heavy breathing last night. So I just opened up the zip.
Oh God, I don't want to know about your heavy breathing. So there you go. If you're wanting to pack light, a swag could be the way to go. But a tent is just as easy. And if you can't be bothered with either of that, try a work van.
Day 3 dawned with a sprinkle of the wet stuff. I was up first, ready to set about packing up my tent and gear and getting it all back on the Tenere 700. One by one, the lads woke up, packed up their gear, and by 10 AM, we had said our goodbyes and I was back on the road heading south. I rode through National Park and on down to Wanganui, riding through a heavy downpour before coming out in bulls in sunny sunshine and drying off. I was home by 3 PM, having had a bloody good trip. Everything performed perfectly. The Ventura rack, which carried my tent, sleeping bag and camp chair, went all the way up and back without a single issue, and the Krieger luggage stayed absolutely watertight. A brilliant experience all round. If you ever have the chance to experience some of New Zealand's amazing trails, make sure you take it up. I'm looking forward to many more to come. This was my first moto camping adventure. Thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.